are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Lemon Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Lemon Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Dedicated our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
It's Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
If you like pina coladas.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Check it out right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now,
The 3-time sexiest man in Millington, Johnny Harden.
Yo, 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 yo. You don't even know what day it is, but guess what? I do. It's Friday. And welcome into a little Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. I'm extremely happy to be with y'all today. It is a little bit wet. It's a little bit nasty out there, but hey, man, you know, that's part of life. It's this time of year. It's a new year. It's 2020. But it doesn't matter because we got cool things going on. We got we got a loser bowl tonight. We don't really care much about that. Unless you're a big Ohio fan or something. But we have playoff football starting tomorrow. Oh, yes, playoff football. And here on Johnny Radio's Happy Hour on a Friday, we like to bring Russell Copeland, who played wide receiver at the University of Memphis and in the National Football League. We like to bring him on, and we're going to talk about all that's going down in the National Football League. Is Tom Brady, is the dynasty finally over? There was a great article that I was reading. It was in the Boston Globe or whatever the heck they call that daggum thing. I was checking out this morning. And, of course, it's like one of their columnists. And they sell papers there, so, of course, they're going to say this. But, like, the top of the article was, police. You know what I'm saying? And it was basically, and it comes out and it mentions and it's very impressive, and I want you to hear what I'm about to tell you. It mentions how the Patriots are 7-1-1 in home playoff games since 2013. You heard that correctly. 7-1-1 since 2013 in playoff games at home. That is damn good. That really is. That's impressive. But this is the thing. Out of those years, those were the Patriots teams that we knew. Those were the Patriots teams that constantly won. That was a Tom Brady who, in years that, like, they got, one of those losses, they lost, like, what? I mean, I'm just saying, like, they had great players and great teams. Just tell me, I mean, like, they had Randy Mosses, and they had Welkers, and they had Edelman when he was good. They had all kinds of ballers. You had Gronk when he was balling.
I say that Gronk this year, him being missing, that's been huge for them.
I mean, and you can go all the way back to the players that they have had on that team, from Corey Dillon back in the day. When you had, look, I don't care what you're talking about, Deion Branch. He was a baller, dude. They have always had little guys. Maybe you didn't know them, but they could get open until you got to the Randy Mosses, and then you knew. You've had weapons. When I look out there and I see Mohamed Sanu and an old Edelman having an old Brady throw him the deadgum football, and I realistically realize they played the easiest schedule in football. The people forget that, by the way. The Patriots had the easiest schedule. Who else played an easier schedule than the Patriots? I'm going to tell you, nobody. It's that simple. It just don't happen. And are you having trouble with my man Cope? No, he's got him now. But anyway, point is, I'm excited about the whole situation. I think it's going to be fun. I think playoff football is going to be out of control. And again, the Patriots, who are a 5-point favorite over Tennessee, And in the top of the article it says police, and it goes on and it lists about how Brady. This is his 41st postseason start. 41st. Ryan Tannehill. Do you know how many playoff games he's played in? This will be his first. Okay. So yes, does Brady have experience? Heck yes. And then throughout this article, it does nothing but point out how Tom Brady is going to own my man, Ryan Tannehill. And yes, 41 postseason starts, hellacious experience. Ryan Tannehill, this is his first time ever. But in the last month, who was the best quarterback in football?
Ryan Tannehill. And I want to say, he's got to be one of the top, vote getters and thoughts here for the comeback player of the year.
I think
because
he is
what
the comeback
he's done,
player of the year.
The back half of that Titans team, getting him into the playoffs, sort of revolutionizing what they've been able to do offensively since Mariota, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sort of a resurrecting of his career because no one knew what he was going to be able to do after he left the Dolphins. So, big props to him. Props to him.
Like you said, in all honesty, you look at some of the people out there that you would think that would have been like big time comeback players. Jimmy G, because he was injured. Remember, he's would he be listed as somebody as a comeback player?
He'd be up there. He'd be up there as well.
All right. Well, so what about? Oh, never mind. Right.
The reason I say Tannehill is because you look at what that team was before and after he got in.
Yes,
right?
They were horrible.
And he's somewhat of an MVP for that team this year.
I absolutely have to say I love it. 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 But now it's time to talk with the man, and we are going to talk about all this postseason football. We're going to talk about all kinds of crazy stuff, firings of coaches. We got Super Bowl predictions. We got all kinds of stuff we're going to do. But it's Russell Copeland. Yo, what's up, Russ?
Johnny, what's going on, man?
Man, I'm having a good time. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year to you, man.
Did you bring it in strong?
Well, not really. I just kicked it with the wife, man, and the kids, and just kind of laid low a little bit.
Man, I did too, but man, I felt like I kicked it in strong still because it's it's like you get through New Year's, it's amateur night. When you get a little bit older, you just want to survive the evening. But you know what, Cope? I want to know about survival, and I got a guy who's starting his 41st playoff game. Has 41, who's starting his 42nd. He's already played in 41 playoff games, and that is, of course, Tom Brady, the GOAT, the guy who is awesome. But at 42 years old, is he still the same player? And do you believe, after the way they've, I don't know if you heard earlier, they had the easiest schedule in football this year. He was the 26th best quarterback in the National Football League. Ryan Tannehill is the offensive player of the month, 12 touchdowns, 2 turnovers. Dude's been straight up balling. And ever since he's taken over, this team looks different. A.J. Brown, when we talk receivers, do you see something special in him? Because I sure do. And I just feel like it's the Titans' time. And plus, don't forget, they had this dude that nobody likes to tackle in Derrick Henry.
Well, speaking of Tom Brady, he's the GOAT. And what he has done has been legendary. But despite his playoff greatness and his legendary status, he hasn't played well. And is it because of his age at 42? Probably a little bit, yes. But he has lost a lot. And I think the number one is Gronkowski. And if you look at the receivers that he's lost Chris Hogan, he lost Amendola, he lost Josh Gordon earlier this year. He didn't get a start with Antonio Brown. At 42 years old, no, he's not able to make average players better. That's obvious. He has his stats. If you look at the last 9 games, he's had 80% QBR, which is a quarterback rate, which ranked him last. If you looked at how he was during the year, 88. But when you look at this matchup, John, it's not about Tom Brady going against Ryan Tannehill. Mm-hmm. You have to put all of this in perspective. And when you look at it, I like what Ryan Tannehill has done. And if you look at him as the comeback player, he's played, probably 10 or 11 games. He's done great. But for me, the comeback player will be Dalvin Cook as far as that.
Good call.
But when you look at this offense and this defense, when you look at the Tennessee Titans, they have played outstanding under Ryan Tannehill. They've done a tremendous job as far as balancing, being able to do some play-action passes, running the football with the man, the beast, Derrick Henry. And they've been able to go over the top, and with A.J. Brown having an outstanding rookie year. But when you look at offensive and defense, the Tennessee Titans are ranked number 12. But they're going against the number 1 defense in a National Football League. What this Bill Belichick does, he takes your number one option. They will do their best to stop the running game, and they will make Ryan Tannehill beat them. We talked about A.J. Brown. Well, they're going to line him up with probably the best cornerback that's in the game. So when you look at that, that'll be negated. Tom Brady is going against the number 21st defense. He'll be able to put up some numbers. He'll be able to dink and dunk. They'll be able to use some motion. I like Tennessee. I like how they play, but I'm not going to count Tom Brady and the Patriots out yet. I think Tennessee will play hard, but give me the Patriots.
I feel where you are on that aspect of like comfort with the fact that you have Tom Brady. The question though for me is, has Sony Michel been able, like, you know, he can only really run. For some reason they don't throw the ball to him. You know, when James White comes in, he doesn't run. He only catches passes. Rex Burkhead kind of does a little bit of both, but neither of them very well. Nobody like strikes fear. Philip Dorsett might be their best and most explosive wide receiver, but he has hands like glass. I mean, this dude couldn't catch a ball for some reason, and that's always been his problem. Again, Edelman, I feel like, is just getting old. And then Mohamed Sanu is basically become their number one. And I just feel like Tennessee Titans, which is one of the other thing that's very underrated. Oh, and the other thing I was going to say is we forget this, you know, like Ted, who's my man that's playing center he had forever, and now he's got with this dude like Ted Karras or something, his first year ever playing in the Patriots. And Tom Brady always had that great center. He's got always had great left tackles, right tackles, and a great offensive line. Did you know that they've only given him 2.5 seconds on a good game, and their bad games are now down to 2.2, and when he only gets 2.2 to 2.3 seconds to throw the ball, he's completing less than 24% of his passes. That has to do with that offensive line. And then I look back over at the Tennessee Titans, and their defense is so underrated. Jarrell Casey, Jeffrey Simmons, these dudes are going to get after it, and plus they got some decent linebackers, and then that safety. Look, I feel like they just can go out there and lock up and come after Tom Brady, and Tom Brady is going to be at the same spot every single time. And if you pin your ears back and Casey and Simmons come out there and get him off his spot, he does not like that, and that's when he throws turnovers. Yeah. And I just feel like it fits perfectly for what the Titans do.
Definitely. You know, I like Casey. I like Evans. I like on the back end. You know, you got Logan Ryan. You got Adoree Jackson. And
Adoree Jackson's a baller.
Exactly. And you have Kevin Beard. But you know, I look at what the Patriots do. And for me, a struggling offense going against the Tennessee Titans is exactly what Tom Brady wants to do. He gets the ball out of his hands very quickly. When you look at it, they're going to run some flats. They're going to run a lot of pick plays. They're going to run a lot of motions. They're going to run a lot of different formations to be able to get the football out of Tom Brady's hands. I named the players that's on defense for the Titans. I like that. But overall, they're still ranked 21st. Look at the Patriots, how bad they've struggled. They're number 15th, but they're usually in the top three. They're still ranked number 15th overall. So this team isn't as bad as we think. They're going against a defense that can be exploited. They need some help from their tight end and Ben Watson, but they will be able to dink and dunk. They'll be able to put two running backs in the game at a time. They'll be able to sometimes put three running backs in at a time. They'll be able to get the short passing game, and they will take some shots with Dorsett. But taking the big shots is not going to be where it is. It's going to come down to their defense. Their defense will get them the football back. I don't think Ryan Tannehill going against the number one defense in the league, a very opportunistic defense.
But against they also a number one defense that played the weakest schedule in football, and that is a fact. Like the weakest period. And the other thing I was going to say, though, but since we are talking defense and we're talking matchups, what scares me is you have the biggest back in football, and if he was playing against a bunch of smaller new-aged linebackers that can run with these safeties. But let's be real. Dante Hightower and Jamie Collins, they're kind of old-school throwback linebackers who, run downhill. And Derrick Henry and Hightower and Collins meeting in the hole might be nasty. And they got that 350-pound monster. They just sit in the middle to clog up the hole. And Danny Shelton, he's going to take up two people every time. So that is going to be an interesting thing because strength for the Tennessee Titans is their run game, but the strength for the deadgum defense for Bill Belichick is stopping the damn run, and they have big physical linebackers.
They definitely do it, and they're very good at passing as well. So when you look at this defense, they run a lot of different fronts. They run some fronts that comes in. They run some stunts. They come in with some different kind of blitzes, and they try to fool the quarterback as far as on the defensive end. They'll run zero coverage and they'll run man coverage, but they'll switch that at the snap. I don't know if Ryan Tannehill can be able to get that. And Derrick Henry runs the football good, but he has had some fumbling issues. This is going to be a very good game. You know, it's a game that but when I look at the Patriots playing at home, they play very well at home. It'll be a great game. I like it, but I still think the Patriots will find a way to win this football game.
By the way, a good friend of mine, Wayne Davis, just texted me. He's also a fan of yours. He said, Johnny, don't be going and losing your money on the Titans. He says, don't do it. I guess, you know what? It's just with Tajay Sharp and Corey Davis being like basically number twos now to A.J. Brown, I feel like that weapons for Ryan Tannehill, if Derrick Henry can just run himself into Hightower and Collins enough for that play action pass to work, I think they can score enough, and maybe not to win the game, but at least to cover that dead gum 5 points, baby. Because I think it's going to be a field goal in a very low-scoring game. What says you?
And you made a good point. I think since A.J. Brown has stepped up and he's really become their number one guy, Corey Davis, to me, is kind of lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, he is.
He has to be able to have a big game. But I think what they're missing their all-pro tight end. He's not going to be able to play. He's been hurt. So I think that comes to fold. But we look at Bill Belichick, and like I say, what makes them so dynamic and good is that their defense is opportunistic. And for years, you know, the latter part of the years, he hasn't really had the players. He's been running with a lot of different schemes. This year, he has the players to be able to play what he wants, and he has hands on that defense. I understand their schedule, but when they play top teams that were playing very well, such as the Dallas Cowboys, they shut them down. When they went against Lamar Jackson did his, but they still were in there. They didn't give up 35 points. They didn't give up 40 points. It was around the lower 20s, I believe. So this defense can play. I just do not think that Ryan Tannehill, he hasn't started in a long time in meaningful games playing for the Dolphins. He's done well this year, but this is a new game. This is the playoffs. I want to see how he's going to be able to play and go against the Patriots at New England. That's the reason why I simply say this defense to me is too good going against Ryan Tannehill in that offense. I love Derrick Henry, but they'll find a way to stop Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and I think I know how they're going to stop him with those big linebackers. And you're also basically keep saying that Devin and Jason McCourty are going to make plays, and Patrick Chung, and then, of course, you know, Stephon Gilmore. If you throw to his side, you're in trouble. Very, very interesting. I can't wait to watch this game on Saturday. I'm pretty fired up, if you can't tell. Now, I do need to move on, and I got to talk about some of these other games because everybody's going to get annoyed because I'm talking so much Patriots-Titans. Seattle is also going on the road. These are the two games I bring up first for one simple reason. I feel like, you know, Seattle was the second best team right behind the 49ers in the NFC, and they open up on the road into Philadelphia. They're a 1.5 point favorite, but going to Philadelphia, and you know this time of year, look, I love Russell Wilson. I love everything. I don't know what beast mode still got left in the tank, if anything, but I do know that that's going to be a hellacious tough stadium to go into, and you know Philadelphia is a really rough place in December to get a win. Can Russell Wilson go on the road across the country and get a wild card win?
If there's any quarterback that can do it, but you look at the last 3 weeks, Johnny, this is not the same football team as it was midway through in the early part of the year. I think when you go into the playoffs, you want to be healthy. And right now, this football team isn't healthy at the running back position. I love the energy that Marshawn Lynch is bringing, but that is the part they're decimated because that's what they count on. They count on the run. They count on the play action passes, and then they hit some passes downfield. When you look at the Eagles, I think the Eagles have done something tremendous over the last month. I think they went 4-1. I think they had players from the practice squad being able to play. Greg Ward, former Houston quarterback, came in. He did very good. But I think they have pretty much shot their load. I think they don't have any more bullets left.
I feel that.
I just don't think they have any more bullets. I mean, every game they've been playing has been a playoff type of game.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if Greg Ward, I don't know if Arcega-Whiteside, I don't know if Aguilar's going to even be able to play, but even if he does, I just don't know if they have enough weapons. I just don't know if they have enough. But it's a great matchup for them because you have the Seahawks coming in banged up.
Beat to hell.
The biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. And then when you look at the defense for the Seattle Seahawks, they're not the same defense, the Legion of Boom, that we've used to seeing. They're ranked 26th, and the Eagles are ranked 14th. So that would give the Eagles, with these young players, able to move the football. But I just think overall, with Russell Wilson, he always gives you a chance. I mean, he wins the football games in the fourth quarter. He wins the game with the last couple of minutes. If the game is close, going down to the last 2 or 3 minutes, Russell Wilson it'll be a tough game. But I think the Seahawks will find a way to win. I just don't know if the Eagles going to have enough punch to win that game.
Toughest game to pick, I think, is Buffalo and Houston. Deshaun Watson, this man needs a playoff victory badly. He really, really does. I don't think that it's his playoff. It's been necessarily his fault, but he does still have one of the lowest quarterbacks in playoff history as an 18 QBR. That was one of the worst games ever played. Can they beat this Buffalo team?
It's really going to be tough, but both of these teams match up great. When you look at the Buffalo Bills, they want to run the football. They want to get Josh Allen outside a little bit and run, and I think he'll be able to do that because he's going against the 28th ranked off defense, and he's ranked 25th. I think the difference is going to be, you talked about Deshaun Watson. He's going against the number 3 opportunistic defense in the Buffalo Bills, and they have a lot of studs that's playing. You got Trent Murphy, defensive end. You got Tremont Edwards, what a great linebacker. Ed Oliver in the middle. And you got probably one of the best matchup cornerbacks in Tre'Davious White. And you got Micah Hyde at free safety. I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills to upset this team on the road. I like their defense. Their defense will be able to get the football back, and I think we'll see more life out of that offense because they're going against the 28th ranked defense. Give me the Bills.
Cope, tell people out there that this is the easiest game in the world, Saints-Vikings, because Kirk Cousins always fails in the big moments, and you have a guy in Michael Thomas. Have you ever seen a guy like Michael Thomas have a career at wide receiver, like a year like this? I mean, he's had 3 drops.
You know what I like about Michael Thomas? I mean, he's very dependable. I mean, he's not fast. He's not strong. But what he does within that offense, he's a very smart receiver, and he knows where the holes are. If you look at him, he catches a whole lot of passes. He catches touchdowns. He is the blanket for Tom Brady. But you look at his average yards per catch, it's only just 10 yards. So he doesn't go up the field a little bit. But what he does, he stretches the chains, and he makes big plays when it's needed. I think this right here will be another good game. I think for the Saints, they're looking at last year when they lost to the Rams. They should have went to the Super Bowl. But the year before that, it was a miracle.
Miracle, man.
Exactly. So that's in their minds. The Saints want to be able to get off of losing tough playoff games. I like the Saints, but I think it'll be a tough game. But I think the biggest difference to me is seeing Alvin Kamara back. Early in the year, he only scored 2 touchdowns. Since September, the last 2 weeks, he scored 4. He's back, getting him out in the backfield, having Murray in the backfield when you have Kamara outside, being able to use those young receivers, and also come down the middle with Jared Cook. I like the Saints.
Man,
just give me Drew Brees. Give me Drew Brees over Kirk Cousins any day.
I don't blame you a bit. I got to say, man, I love talking to you. I can't wait till next Friday. You be good, Coop. Happy New Year. It's Russell Copeland. He is the man. He was one hell of a wide receiver at the university, but I do got to ask you right before I say goodbye, are we seeing, like, have you ever seen since the days that you and Isaac and y'all were over there, have you ever seen just so many athletes now start to come to the university? Because when you look at, like, Kenneth Gainwell, you had Anthony Miller a few years. Yeah, we're getting, like, Gabe Coons over there, and we're fixing the offensive line, but they're getting a hell of a lot of playmakers again.
Man, we're getting a whole lot of playmakers, and I tell you what, Isaac and I, we talk about it all the time. I would have loved to be able to play in the spread offense, but they have now. They have playmakers, but man, when you spread out like that, and you got guys that can catch the ball, and you use their strengths, it's really hard to stop those guys. And I definitely have to go back with Matt Cody and Isaac Bruce and myself. And you had Larry Porter, and you had those guys. You had Sweet Martin. You had Doc Holliday running the ball. You put us in the spread offense, man, it would have been crazy because we still put up numbers in a run type offense. But I love what the Memphis is doing as far as recruiting. Just looking forward to them next year, and you know, what a great year they had this year. So just looking forward to how they look in the spring and coming back and be even stronger next year.
Man, Copeland, I appreciate it. You have a very happy New Year, and I'll talk to you next Friday, my man.
Thanks, man.
That's my friend Russell Copeland. Y'all know him as he played wide receiver at Memphis, and of course all the stuff he did in the NFL with the Bills, et cetera, et cetera. Now I'm curious, since he played with the Bills, do you think he's going for the Bills? I forgot to ask him that.
That would have been a good question for him.
Damn, I'm gonna have to
You
text
should
him
have
now.
thought. You should have.
I
Man, you
just
should have
go
thought about
text
that
him.
like 20 seconds.
I know,
earlier.
just 20 seconds. I had him on the phone, man. But you know what? I got to be back because I'm late for a break. Gatlin, don't forget him. What's his name? Chad. Where do you go? MemphisFarmers.com. If you want to call him, 901-235-1176. That's Chad Gatlin, MemphisFarmers.com. Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
What comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner.
Are y'all gearing up at the Rendezvous for the holiday season?
We've got ribs, shoulders, nacho boxes. We're stacking them high. The elves are working hard getting ready for the Christmas season. You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
For over 25 years, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 has been bringing you great local sports talk. With 13 hours of local talk daily, we continue to be Memphis's local sports leader. The day starts with Keith Parker and Elliot Wender on the Press Box from 6 to 7, followed by the Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt from 7 to 10. Sports 56 middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy takes you through lunch from 10 until 1. And then, John Harden brings you Johnny Radio's Happy Hour from 1 to 3. Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy drive you home every afternoon with Sports Time with Wolo and Stats from 3 till 6. And John Ray wraps up the day with Southern Sports Report from 6 to 7 before we turn things over to Fox Sports Radio to get you through the evening. We also bring you Ole Miss Sports, NFL football, and the NCAA basketball tournament. Don't miss anything. Keep your radio locked in right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Now back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
Get over here!
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
What is up? Welcome back into a little Johnny Radio's Happy Hour on this beautiful 2020, and it's the first time of the year, at least I get to speak with him, and it's my good buddy David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal. He's on the Grizzlies beat, and I gotta say, what's up, David? How's life treating you, brother?
Well, man, life's treating me pretty well. Off to a nice start here in 2020.
Man, Happy New Year. I hope everything's blessed. I just got to ask you, did you watch, of course you watched it, you're on the Grizzlies beat, but like that first quarter looked like the Grizzlies were going to run away with that junt, didn't it?
Yeah, man, I was ready to, anoint them like NBA Finals contender after the first quarter.
That first quarter, they were like, they didn't miss. They were on fire. What was it, 42-26 after the first quarter? And then they followed up 42 with 18. Oh, good job, Grizzlies. What the bleep is that? Like,
I don't know, man.
How did they lose to the Kings by 5 after being up that big? I know it's the NBA, and I listen to people tell me that, but how do you score 42 in the first and then 18 points in the second quarter?
Well, Dylan Brooks just vanished.
He did.
And De'Aaron Fox is a really tough matchup for Ja. Like, defense is still very much a work in progress for Ja, and De'Aaron Fox is, essentially a lot like Ja, except stronger, more experienced, and just a little bit further along at this point. So really, really tough matchup for Ja. And if you look at Ja's stat line, I mean, he had a decent night offensively with 23 points, but he also had 6 turnovers. And then you throw in the fact that, oh, yeah, Dylan Brooks just completely disappeared after a scorching hot first quarter. We know by now that whenever he disappears, the Grizzlies
Did he hit a shot after the
win.
first quarter? Because I don't remember him making
I think he hit a couple, but, I mean, he went pretty cold.
Yeah, he was very, very nasty after the first one. But I will say, Valanciunas, I thought looked very good. Giannis is doing his thing. But I will say one thing that really did kind of scare the bleep out of me was just watching Buddy Hield look so good. I mean, this is a Kings team that did they not have an 8-game losing streak coming into that one? And then it was 42-26. I thought Memphis was in full control. They were going to push this losing streak to 9 games. And then you see Buddy having a good game. And I don't like Buddy and De'Aaron. I'm just not a Fox guy. I don't know, dude. I hate watching De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield for some reason play better and beat the Grizzlies makes me absolutely crazy. Is that normal?
I mean, the first time they played, Buddy Hield was pretty terrible.
Yeah.
And Bogdanovich didn't play in the first meeting either. And he had some clutch buckets in the fourth quarter last night. So, I mean, the Kings there's no reason why the Kings should lose 8 straight games. I understand De'Aaron Fox has been banged up this year. I know that Marvin Bagley has been banged up this year, but I mean, they have the talent to be a Western Conference playoff team. I mean, there's really no reason why Oklahoma City should make the playoffs ahead of Sacramento, I think, based on talent. The Kings have the pieces. I don't know if they have the coach. And if they can stay reasonably healthy, they should, I think, be in the playoffs because they fired Dave Yeager, who I think went 39-43 last year.
Yeah.
With a younger version of this roster that, if I'm not mistaken, didn't have Harrison Barnes yet. And now you're, supposedly supposed to get better, right? Because you make a change, you bring in some extra players, whatever, and they're not. So the Kings are a little bit of a problem so far. I mean, if I'm a Kings fan, I'm pretty frustrated with the direction of that franchise. But, man, they've got the talent and everything, and they've got enough season left to make it happen, especially with the West being as wide open as it is.
Yeah, watching Fox score 10 of his 27 in the final 5 minutes really hurt. That was a little bit painful. Man, it was a rough night, but you know what? Hey, man, they just got to step up and get ready to rock and roll again, man. That's just the way it is. I do have to wonder this, though. Coming down the stretch, they're 13-22. It's 2020. Where do you expect them to be in the ping pong ball party at the end of the season? When you realistically, I know when you look at the standings, when you look at this team, when you think about it, and I know like you said, after the first quarter, we were thinking that, man, they're ready to go to the playoffs, 42 points, they're ballers, but then you realize how young they are when they follow that up with 18. How far will this team drop?
It's pretty crazy, isn't it, that on a quarter-by-quarter basis, you bounce between thinking the Grizzlies, oh, yeah, they might be an 8 seed, and then to, oh, wow, they might have the number 1 pick.
Yes.
That's what this team is right now. It's literally every week. I'm oh, yeah, there's not a chance in the world that this team could even sniff the 8 seed. And then 3 games later, I'm oh, I think, if things break the right way, and, and so, anyway, but to answer your question, the way things are trending, I think they're going to be around the 30 to 33 win range, which is probably going to happen.
Hawks are going to have the worst record, right? They're the worst team in basketball, bar none. Knicks second worst. And then what the hell is going on with the Golden State Warriors?
Be that bad for that long though? The Hawks are getting John Collins back. They should be getting better. God, they really should be. The Warriors, are at least a little bit healthier now than they were. The Cavaliers and the Knicks, I think, are the teams that are really, really bad. So I don't know, but the Hawks are already so bad, and the Warriors are so bad. I don't think the Grizzlies could get worse than them if they tried. It's almost the same situation as last year, where I think they're probably going to end up in that 6, 7, 8, 9 range. Where if you look at the odds, that puts them with a pretty slim chance of keeping their pick. If they finish in that 6, 7, 8, 9 range from the bottom, they're going to have, in all likelihood, not going to have that pick because it's top 6 protected. So if it's outside the top 6, it goes to Boston. And barring a bounce like the one they got last year that allowed them to pick Ja, they're probably not going to have that first-round pick. So, I mean, that's kind of how I see it shaping up now. It's sort of a weird no man's land where, I mean, they're not really going to be in great position to get a high draft pick, but they're not also, I mean, I would be surprised, right? Like if they're still around in the hunt for the 8th seed come March, so like they're just sort of in that no man's land. I think that's kind of where they're going to be.
All right, I got to ask you a question. Yesterday I looked into my crystal ball, and I think my ball was a little foggy. And I wanted to ask you what you thought about this, because the only NBA player that I had on the top 5, and I did have 2 baseball players because I'm a complete baseball junkie, and I think Mike Trout deserves to be on there. And then I tried to guess with a young person that could take the world by storm. The fact that Atlanta can do that, I think Ronald Acuna could be the catalyst of that team. I think he has a chance to maybe be a star going forward, but that is a definite reach. I liked my Trevor Lawrence pick. I love Patrick Mahomes at number 1 because I think that dude's bad. But after watching Luka again, I kind of feel like I forgot this guy, Luka Doncic. How come I forgot about him? He's only 20 years old. He's a walking triple-double. Dude can do anything that you ask him to do. And again, he's 20 damn years old. This Dallas team with him and Kristaps, I'm starting to think to myself, I definitely have to take off Acuna, and I got to put Luka on there, right? Like, is Luka, could he be the face of the NBA in the next decade? I was just trying to look at some of the like I was saying,
upcoming decade?
Like over the next decade, who are going to be some of the biggest stars that we're talking about? And I had Patrick Mahomes at 1, the quarterback at Clemson. I'm, of course, projecting him to come out and be some great quarterback, obviously, in the NFL. He's playing in his, sophomore year, 2nd national championship game. Had to have him going really high. And the reason also I had, 47 in the top 50 viewed in the last decade were football games. One was a baseball game, Cubs World Series Game 6, and other 2 were Olympics. Now, so I had Patrick Mahomes 1, I had Trevor Lawrence 2, had Mike Trout 3. Look at that contract. He's the best player we've ever seen since the Babe, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, all rolled into one, basically. You know what I mean? That's what that center fielder is. Giannis is a baller. I think Ronald Acuna, I was definitely reaching, and I'm going to want to take him out, and I want to put Luka Doncic at 4. Do you think Luka could honestly be the face of the NBA over the next decade?
I mean, internationally, absolutely, yeah. Domestically, I feel like Zion's probably a
Zion over Giannis? There.
Oh, wait. I thought you said Luka.
No, I'm just saying I have Giannis and Luka, but I was surprised that you said Zion before.
I just think that
because he hasn't even played this year.
I know, but the fact that he's an American makes him more appealing to Americans. And so, like, Giannis and Luka are phenomenal, and, like, the All-Star voting reflects that. But, I mean, a lot of the sort of popularity stuff is not always based around production. I mean, Zion's going to be a really good player. Is he going to be as good as Giannis or Luka? I don't know, but I think that if all goes well, if he turns out to be the player we expect him to be, then yeah, I think he could be a bigger splash, a bigger draw here in the States than Luka or Giannis. I'm sorry.
FYI, I picked Giannis and Luka just now for one reason, both international players who are superstars here locally.
Yeah. So
I think that adds because of their global, because it's a global game. Yes.
Yeah, but I think about the FedEx Forum. I mean, do you expect? All right, so I mean, we'll say this year, if Zion comes back this year, and we think he will, so you get the Mavericks, the Bucks, and the Pelicans all come into FedEx Forum, over the next few months. I think the Zion will be the biggest draw of the 3, even though he's proven absolutely nothing. Yeah.
See, I think with Kristaps and Luka Doncic, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. 67129, y'all hit me up. Is Cobb right? Am I right? Are people more crazy about Luka Doncic and what he's done, or people more crazy about the potential of Zion Williams?
When you go to an NBA game, you want to see something spectacular. And the knock on Luka Doncic is that even he produces like crazy, but he never, he's not going to dunk on, have some sick dunk over somebody. He's a good athlete. He can dunk on, he's dunked on people before, but You're not going to see something like what Ja does out of him athletically. And so you watch him, and you don't necessarily you're not necessarily awestruck by him. Like
I'm not awestruck by Zion right now. I haven't seen him in the NBA, and I'm just going to tell you right now, at 6 feet 6 inches, and that's what he was measured at the NBA without his basketball shoes. So yes, he wears shoes. If y'all want to say he's 6'7", go ahead. Dude, you got Kristaps Porzingis, who's like, 7'3", shooting three-pointers out there. There are big boys in the NBA. Is Zion athletically gifted? Yeah, but he ain't Shaq. I see bigger guys right now who are coming up that are just as gifted, if not more. I'm telling you, I think Zion Williamson will be, over the next decade, one of the biggest busts. And I think in 2 years, you're even going to forget about going and looking and caring about Zion Williams and watching the Pelicans, who are perpetually inept and they can't run their franchise. They're not going to win.
I mean, I'm not saying that the Pelicans are going in the right direction, but I mean, they've got Brandon Ingram, they've got Drew Holiday, they've got Zion. I mean, there's some pieces there.
They got a ball.
They got Lonzo. I mean, they're not a lost cause. They're not as good as the Mavericks. They're not as good as the Bucks. They're further behind in this whole conversation in every facet.
In the Southwest, what is it? We're in the Southwest Division, right? They're the worst in our division, correctly? Do you agree? I mean, Drew Holiday is their best player. Brandon Ingram, they're hoping is going to develop. Lonzo Ball, I don't know if he'll ever get a shot. J.J. Redick is J.J. Redick, and then Derek Favors, we're hoping on, and we're praying on Zion. I don't know. I don't know if I believe in New Orleans at all. But you know a lot more about basketball than me.
Well, I'm not saying that the Pelicans are going to be a contender or that Zion's going to transform the fortunes of the franchise overnight. To your point, I guess to answer your original question, I think Giannis or Luka could be the faces of the game internationally, but
I think Zion has a chance.
As this current generation of stars, which is, LeBron and Curry and Harden and, Klay Thompson. And as those guys the 30-plus crowd starts to, reach the end and kind of trend towards the end of their careers, I think that domestically in Memphis, there's a better chance that Zion can fill the FedEx Forum for a Tuesday night game than anybody else in the league.
Interesting. See, I'm going to just say that this is going to be fun for us. We get to go with a decade bet. Are you ready for this? These poor guys will only be 30 at the end of this decade. One will be 29, one will be 30. I don't even want to tell you how old I'll be at the end of the decade. But I'm going to bet that Luka Doncic is the bigger star, and I honestly don't even think that that's like a outlandish or wild pick. I think right now at 20 years old, he's already a top 10 basketball player at 20. And the thing is, I was going to say is he's got Kristaps Porzingis. He's got a owner in Mark Cuban who hasn't done jack in a while, but he has won a championship. He does spend money. You know that. And Kristaps, if he gets healthy with Luka, that is a nasty one too, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, they still got to add some role players, around them. But yeah, I mean, they're already, a playoff team. So the future is really bright in Dallas. That there's no doubt about that. That's pretty evident.
And then in the East, I like the Greek Freak because I think he's just going to be a baller. But I think Ja's going to be up there too. I think Ja's going to have a better career than Zion. I might be crazy. I might just have a Grizzlies fever. But I just don't know what it is. I love Zion when he was in college, but I just don't know how many 6'6" guys can, I don't care how athletic he is. He's not Michael Jordan. He's not going to take you off the dribble and hit, become a jump shooter or a great guy who can just be a killer. I mean, he's a dunker in an NBA game of pace and space. I can't wait to see how he fits in. I think it'll be interesting. Will he be good? Yes. Will he be the best player in the next LeBron James? Hail to the no. He will not be a top 5 player, where I think Luka will be a top 5 player. That is my bet. You think Zion will be a top 5 player? We got a decade bet. After this decade's up, since it's so long, what are we going to bet?
Let's talk about it off the air, but I've got some ideas.
All right, brother. Hey, go take care of some work, man. Be good. That's David Cobb, the beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. Follow him at David W. Cobb on Twitter, and I'll talk to you next time, brother. Be good out there.
All right, man.
Happy New Year. That's my buddy David Cobb. I'm late for a break. Never forget Chad Gatlin at MemphisFarmers.com. That's MemphisFarmers.com. You go see him, and I promise you one thing, he'll take care of you. And if you want to, call him at 901-235-1176 right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. Every weekday afternoon from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Farmers Insurance knows that there's a not-so-subtle difference between the sound of a car hitting your rear bumper and the sound of a clown car hitting your rear bumper.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Sorry about that!
We call that a three-ring fender bender, and we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent.
They know a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at MemphisFarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
For over 25 years, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 has been bringing you great local sports talk. With 13 hours of local talk daily, we continue to be Memphis's local sports leader. The day starts with Keith Parker and Elliot Wender on the Press Box from 6 to 7, followed by the Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt from 7 to 10. Sports 56 Middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy takes you through lunch from 10 until 1. And then, John Harden brings you Johnny Radio's Happy Hour from 1 to 3. Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy drive you home every afternoon with Sports Time with Wolo and Stats from 3 till 6. And John Rennie wraps up the day with Southern Sports Report from 6 to 7 before we turn things over to Fox Sports Radio to get you through the evening. We also bring you Ole Miss Sports, NFL football, and the NCAA basketball tournament. Don't miss anything. Keep your radio locked in right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Yo, I am your pusher man. You know what I try to push on y'all? Sports knowledge, niceness, kindness, love, all that good stuff, and good karma. And I do believe in good karma. And I believe that eventually I'm going to have some good karma. Like maybe I'm going to win the lottery. Like today I'm going to talk in Hardenwood. Have you heard about the family that they had their kid get cancer and they think he was going to die? The day they found out, they came back and said, holy cow, he's like one of the kids that are 5% that are taken to the treatment. He became cancer free. The dad felt so lucky he went and bought a lottery ticket. It hit. The day they found out their kid beat cancer, that night they won the lottery.
There you go. Karma is real.
Tell you all about that during Hardenwood and some other crazy stories. But can I tell you a quick story about me, Mr. Gabe? So a cat gets hit by a car. You know how weak-hearted I am. You think I'm not balling? This cat I've seen at Tunica every single day, and I always give it a little bit of food, but it's never let me pet it. And I'm sure everybody down in Tunica knows which little cat I'm talking about.
Man, cats freak me out, man.
Well,
they can claw you at any second. I'm surprised you even tried to pet it.
Well, it won't ever get within 5 feet, but if I put some chicken down or a little bit of food, it will come and eventually get it, but it won't get close to me. Well, it was sleeping, I think, under a car, and the car kind of moved its tire, and it hurt its leg. So the cat was definitely hurt, and it wanted some help. So actually the cat came to me, so I knew something was wrong with it. So I picked it up, and I took it to the animal hospital last night. Went to a Horn Lake Animal Hospital. Shout out Horn Lake Animal Hospital. Do have to say, though, do you know that they say, so are you just turning this in as a good Samaritan, or are you going to take financial responsibility? Well, what does that mean? Well, if you just turn it as a good Samaritan, we don't necessarily know. It'll be up to the doctor. What do you mean? Well, if it's bad enough, we'll just euthanize it. Oh, yeah, just tell somebody like that. So what do I do if I say I'm financially responsible? Well, then we'll say it's your cat and we'll try to save it. Like, damn. You can't, I just brought it here to save it. What do you think I'm going to do? Like, leave and let y'all euthanize the damn thing? So they hit me with $300 bill, fix the cat's leg. Cat's alive. I'm supposed to be a good Samaritan. Things should be going good. And then this is not a joke. Then I get this text. This is, by the way, from my landlord. I won't say his name, but I just call him Jay. My buddy Jay. Jay calls and says, hey, John, you know how we had the AC unit just fixed? Yeah. It's making a funny noise. Oh, bleep. So call the HVAC people, tell them to go over there. Hey, it's under warranty, so it shouldn't cost me anything, right? Yes, it's under warranty, but this somehow magical piece that they have to put up there, which costs $300, exactly $300, which I spent last night. And Honey's like, yeah, we got to fix it. It's $300. I'm like, wait a second. I spent $300 on saving a cat. Shouldn't I at least had some good luck on the deadgum warranty or something? So again, I must have been somebody really bad. Or man, when I was young, I was a
reincarnation
bad dude.
guy.
I'm not a reincarnation guy.
Okay.
I'm not saying you are reincarnated, and I'm not saying that you're not. I don't know, man. I've never lived. I can't remember my last life. That's for damn sure. I can't remember what I did yesterday, except for save the cat.
See, but I'll tell you what, man. You're one of the few people in this world that would have helped that cat. I'll tell you that right now.
I can tell you that is true because there was 20 other people, and not one person out there did anything. One dude actually said to me, hey, I got a gun in my car if you just want to go around the back and shoot it mercifully. I was like, no, dude. We're not going we're not going to run around the back and shooting a kitten. Damn. But anyway, so the cat, by the way, if everybody is wondering, if you did not understand, it is okay. But for me, I'm poor. Very poor. By the way, if you got 2 extra Georgia tickets, I could use that since I'm so poor. 67129. Send me a text or call Gabe and tell him you got them for me. No, I'm just kidding. Now I'm asking for things. But no, I got to bring it up. Coming up next, we're going to get deep into everything that's going on with sports. I do want to talk with Gabe Kuhn about Lou Holtz. I want to ask him, has Lou Holtz lost his damn mind? If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're definitely not going to want to touch, not even look at the dial or think about touching it, because this stuff is funny and very impressive. And then there's also a LaMelo Ball story out there. Oh, love talking about the Ball brothers. It's almost as good as Antonio Brown, the gifts that keep on giving. We'll be back in just a second. Never forget MemphisFarmers.com. My man, Chad Gatlin. Give him a call. Why? Well, because he's nice. And call him Chad. That way he'll know you got it from me. 901-235-1176. That's 901-235-1176. If you're looking for what? Auto, home, life, business, anything. He's got the coverage you need. My man's got the experience. He's also got the knowledge of the city because he's been Memphis born, Memphis bred. He's a Memphis man till he's dead. Give him a call at 901-235-1176 or just go to MemphisFarmers.com. That's MemphisFarmers.com on Sports 56, 96.1, and of course, 87.7 FM.
Seems to heal. And if the band you're in starts playing different tunes, I'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
The Home Depot has a secret recipe for new kitchen appliances. Up to 30% off appliance special buys, like a stainless steel Whirlpool kitchen package for only $19.98. You get a side-by-side refrigerator, electric range, dishwasher, microwave, and for a limited time, over $1,000 off. Guess the secret's out. Save now on a Whirlpool kitchen, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only. Gas Extra. See store for details. Valid through February 26th.
I almost never go to Central Barbecue without running into somebody I know.
That could be because you only eat at Central Barbecue.
It's because Central Barbecue is where Memphians go to get barbecue and has consistently been voted the most popular barbecue restaurant among locals.
Actually, that's really saying something.
I know. Memphis is the nation's capital of barbecue. With all the choices, people who live here go to Central Barbecue.
They do get their share of tourists.
Sure, because Central Barbecue has been mentioned on TV and in tons of national publications. You know why?
Because of the great food?
Because those TV shows and magazines look for the place where the locals go, and that, my friend, is Central Barbecue.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Dedicated our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
The Vergas family, legendary Memphis restaurateur, starting with Mr. Charlie and continuing today with his grandchildren.
Brett, it just dawned on me the other day that while Memphis is celebrating its bicentennial, the Rendezvous has been here well over one-third of Memphis's existence. But we're not a place to rest on our laurels or reputation. We're always trying to add new things to make our customers' experience more enjoyable. Friday lunches have always been special because we give away our red beans and rice. But we are now adding a sausage sandwich.
John, we first got a taste of it at the golf tournament.
It's the same sausage we serve on our cheese and sausage plate, but it will be served lengthwise on the bun with beans and slaw on the side. We've also partnered with a company called Devillet out of Dyersburg to introduce a new sweet glazed mustard with Rendezvous seasoning in it. It will really go great with a sandwich. I still recommend adding slaw. As I've mentioned before, my grandfather had a hot dog stand on Beale Street in 1916, and that's the same slaw he used. So here we are now 103 years later, and we've come full circle using his slaw on our hot dogs. Hope to see you this Friday at the Rendezvous.
In the Alley in downtown Memphis.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
If you like pina coladas.
This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, your one-stop for all your natural, organic, and non-GMO CBD products, where good health hits home.
Get out right here. Ladies and gentlemen. And now?
Now, the only man to ever win the World Series of Poker with a Scrabble board, Johnny Harden.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Harden. He is here, and guess what? He's got all kinds of things to talk about. And I will remind y'all that today, Johnny Radio's Happy Hour's got a little Hardenwood. We got some picks me and Gabe are going to give you because it is playoff weekend. The NFL starts tomorrow. We have 4 wild card games. Plus, don't forget, it is the Idaho Potato Bowl starting here in 30 minutes, T-minus 29 minutes and counting, boys. I cannot wait. Nothing like an Idaho Potato Bowl, Ohio and Nevada. I do have to say, I feel like Ohio goes out and pimp slap Nevada like it's going out of style. Now, I do have to also say, the little cat, though, that I did save, since some people are texting, the cat's okay. But it did cost me money because I never made it in the casinos. Yeah, and it broke my heart because the game that I was going to bet, it got there. So tears. That was some sad stuff. But again, kitty cat, okay. And isn't that the most important thing, Gabe?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But I'm telling you, you're one of the few people in this world that would do that for that cat.
Yeah, because do you want to know what I actually decided? Got off the air and my old man called me and said, "Son, how long you been gambling? You know that this Oregon is a setup like a mug. Colorado will beat them. I'm willing to bet my life on it." I'm like, "How much you willing to bet on it?" He's like, "Come get 500. I was like, "All right, I'm on my way." So we're going to go down there and take Colorado for the hizzy. I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe this cat saved me a G. No. Just cost me 3. Not G's, but 300. Man. And Colorado beat them 74-65, 46-point second half. I do have to also say, whenever I get that phone call after I give a pick, I think Kevin has hit me and has been like 90% on the ones where he's called me absolutely crazy. But it is time to get into some lunacy. I've talked a little bit earlier, and the lunacy I wanted to talk about is we get to see, I think, one of the best championship games that we're going to see, and I'm being dead serious when I say this. I think this LSU-Clemson matchup, I mean, Dabo Swinney and Clemson have been in the national championship game, 4 out of the last 5 years? Is that right? They've been in 4 out of the last 5 years in championship game? I mean, they've got the experience. Trevor Lawrence won the game last year, beat Alabama and Tua and all that stuff. And then you have LSU with Joe Burrow having the greatest season possibly ever, elevating himself to the number 1 pick in the NFL draft in most people's eyes. If not number 1, maybe number 2, because Chase Young might beat him out, but I can't see it. If Joe wins this one, he's probably going to get that number 1. But he's probably had one of the greatest college football seasons ever. But this is where I have to bring up. Like, I am fired up about this national championship game. And Clemson's in it. And if Alabama was in it, and I had to see Alabama and Clemson, if they were the 2 best teams, I wouldn't care because I want to see the 2 best teams. That's all I care about when it comes to the national championship. But I want to ask all of y'all this. Why is Lou Holtz coming out there and saying the best team in the country is Alabama, but they just got unlucky?
Because Lou Holtz is 82 years old. Because that's why. Okay?
So he
because he has lost his mind. That's why. Because that Alabama team, they lost fair and square to that LSU team.
They showed
no injuries, nothing.
And by the way, can I also say, you know what else? That was a good one, by the way. My man Lou is talking about how Tua was playing banged up, or they would have beaten LSU and all that stuff. I'm like, dude, what game were you watching, man? I'm sorry. They didn't lose just one game either. You know Alabama's...
Did you watch the performance that LSU offense put on? Do you realize Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase play on the other team? Look, I'm sorry. Like, I know they did run into some bad luck at the end of the season losing Tua, but I don't think there's any doubt that LSU was a better team this year. LSU finally put it together offensively.
Man.
LSU figured it out. Our guy Ed O decided, let me go find some help with the passing game. Joe Brady came along, and the rest is his. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
It is. And by the way,
Alabama got there earlier, but LSU was late to the party and beat them at their own game. And that's just what, I'm sorry. I think Alabama's a hell of a team. They showed it in their bowl game, the Citrus Bowl.
But they beat Michigan, who gets beat by Ohio State every year.
That's still a good team. Let's not lose our minds on who Michigan is.
I'm not saying Alabama's bad. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying is he can't come out like his one argument is look how they handle Michigan. Michigan? Well, dude, Michigan ain't as good as Clemson. Michigan's I don't think they're as good as Clemson. Do you?
No,
Clemson beat Ohio State, who Ohio State beat.
I was going to say, did you see what Ohio State did to Michigan?
It was in the Big House, by the way, and it was one of the greatest things that I've ever seen, and probably it was honestly the greatest day of, I think, C.J. Hurt's life. Because what was the final? Like 700 to it was kind of like what Ohio State did to Michigan. I know Ohio State gave up 56 points. I mean, Ohio State scored 56 points on Michigan. How many points, though, did Michigan give up? when they played those sorry suckers. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Michigan. Because Alabama beats Michigan, they're great. Look, Michigan lost to Alabama 35-16.
But then we got to understand.
They lost 56-27. They also lost, by the way, Michigan. They beat Notre Dame. They lost to Penn State 28-21. They didn't have the greatest deadgum year. They beat Iowa 10-3. Iowa's not bad, but hey, they also lost to Wisconsin 35-14. 35-14. This is a team that's got its not tail whipped or lost a couple close ones. It's got its butt whipped. And by the way, just a reminder, it took 2 overtimes to beat Army.
I don't look. You got to take what Lou Holtz says with a grain of salt because he's not on the air for a reason. Okay, there's a reason that
they took him
he's
out.
82 years old. Lee Corso's probably on his way too.
Yeah,
out of the door, but
he can. Put on some
at least he's not. He wouldn't say something as asinine and just dumb as that, because we know what LSU was this year and we know what Bama was this year. And if there's an argument that you think Bama is better than LSU, I'll tell you right now, plain up, straight up, you're wrong.
Well, can I tell you something that I want to think that everybody's going to be right? I think the coolest thing about this national championship game is we finally get to answer the serious question. Who has the real Death Valley? And who the hell are the real
Two
Tigers? That's what I'm saying. Who are the real Tigers and who has the real Death Valley?
One has the paw as their logo, and one has the eye as their logo, right?
Yeah, on the field.
So it's like
the eye is scary, man.
Which one's better?
I like the eye. I like LSU. I'm an LSU guy, but I got to say that Trevor Lawrence dude scares the bleep out of me because he's really damn good. By the way, Travis Etienne is a bad man. Now, how healthy is Clyde Edwards? And you can say his last name.
Hilaire, yeah.
It's Hilaire?
Yes.
I did pretty good. I've only heard it 1,000 times. You think I would be able to say it by now. I actually ended up turning the volume almost all the way off during a broadcast for some reason. Is that weird?
Do you?
I think it's because I talk so damn much during the broadcast that I ended up.
I keep it quiet. It's not like I'm like blaring it. I like to hear myself talk and think, but I keep it on. But Clemson's a good team. I think it's gonna be a good matchup for the most part. But LSU open as 5.5-point favorites. And what do you think that's my question. What do you think that line will do before we get to this big game?
It's a great question. I honestly am not sure.
Because I know a lot of people, honestly, this might be as close to a 50-50 split right now of who people think is going to win as I've seen in a while.
I have to say one thing, though, also about this. Clemson, Dabo has changed the culture. The Clemsoning used to be a statement. Were you alive when they used to say Clemsoning whenever you would screw up? Did you go Clemson yourself?
No.
Oh, you weren't around when that was going on?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I did not know the term Clemsoning. No.
Really?
No.
Yeah, they were so bad at one point that when they weren't so bad, they would get close and then they would literally shoot themselves in the foot and not make whatever. But I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Ed O is and Dabo though have got to be basically the two most polar opposite coaches in a national championship game we've seen in a long time, don't you think?
In what way? That's the question. I think they're both players, coaches.
I think they're both players.
I think
coaches.
they have different demeanors in the fact
totally different demeanors.
Ed O walks in the stadium,
I'm
guns
talking
ablazing, red face, screaming, whereas Dabo just walks in like a normal
Here's
guy.
What I mean by that. One plays the media, one avoids it like the plague. Ed Orgeron will speak to him. He's sometimes kind of funny. But, dude, Dabo Swinney all year long has been talking about how this team's been disrespected. Like, Dabo is one of those guys who uses everything. Like, everything he says, there's a purpose behind it, almost Nick Saban-esque style, where I feel like Ed O basically only cares about what the hell's going on in his locker room and realistically doesn't care about anything else except for winning on Saturday. Like, it's just, and of course now Monday for the national championship, but do you know what I mean? It all, like Dabo, I feel like he's working things constantly. Like he's talking to the media.
No. I understand that, and he just truthfully, he puts statements out that actually do cause a reaction to the general public, whereas you don't hear that much besides a "Go Tigers" out of Edo. Like,
and maybe it's just because he can't put out a statement that anybody understands, unless you're in Louisiana.
We've had to have some deciphering.
I can call up Ron Higgins and be like, "Yo, have you finally got this thing down? Like, you got this down pat with Ed Orgeron?" No, but I am fascinated about this one. I think it's going to be interesting. I can't wait for the championship game. But before, I just want to ask all of y'all right now, 67129, 67129, who has the real Death Valley or the one that you think is more intimidating or more exciting? And just to be honest with you, I have never liked the Clemson run. I don't like how they literally drive a bus 2 blocks. I wouldn't want to get on that damn bus and then get off of that bus as
They've
a player.
had some torn ACLs on that hill,
And that's where I was
too.
getting ready to say. And I watched the kid, and I thought they were going to get rid of it the year that kid ran and jumped and blew out his ACL. I thought for sure, well, this is done. And they're still doing it. Hold on. I thought it was all about player safety. Well, as long as it's not their head, we are okay. We'll just put a head condom on them. But we'll let them run down this stupid, like hill as fast as they can and then jump and land crazy and then run, because it's double, if it was like maybe a straight shot, like maybe they need to take that one little thing where the rock is, that little straight.
I'll tell you right now, I'd be waddling down that thing, man. I would not
be
take
running
any chances.
And jumping the way they are, man.
I wouldn't
it's
take
crazy.
any chances.
But I like the Death Valley in Louisiana, and I have to say, I'm going to give you one little thing, and then I'll be done. I've never been to Clemson's Death Valley. I've watched it on TV, so I can't speak from experience. But when I went to LSU, my best experience ever was I went down to Baton Rouge and we tailgated for 3 days and ate alligator off like they had a whole alligator on what you would call like a fish frying thing that this dude rigged up, and you put it on like 2 things and you just spun it over a fire.
Rotisserie gator.
Yeah, it was a rotisserie gator. Like you had to build this sucker, and he had like a 12-foot gator in this bad boy. It looked maybe not 12 feet. I don't know. It was huge. But we ate gator meat all weekend and drank moonshine and got hammered. And I don't even know how I made it to the game, but I did. And it was a party. And I will have to say, if you ever party with the Cajuns, whoo-wee, I will tell you one thing. You will lose.
Via the text line, have a couple people chiming in telling me, Gabe, you sounded like Waterboy. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
That was pretty good. Yeah, that
yes,
was
I did,
Mr.
Mr. Coach Klein, sir.
Speaking of that, man, Adam Sandler's all over the place. Why? Was he got a movie coming out?
Yeah, it's called Uncut Gems. But anyway, as far as your Death Valley question goes, somebody chimed in all caps. They're yelling. So I'm going to try
LSU historically.
LSU historically has been Death Valley far longer. Was that loud enough?
That was
that's
loud
how
enough.
that's how it was. That's how they wrote
all
it.
caps, and they're very mad. Hey, I like it. But the one thing I want to say to you, sir, and this is what is cool though, we do get to kind of answer that question on the field this weekend. That's what makes, I think, this game. And I'm not saying that it's no. It's not answering the question.
It's not the end all be all.
It's not the end all be all.
But it's bragging rights for a couple
But
years.
it is going to be bragging rights for a few years, and it's going to be kind of fun. I mean, if LSU and Joe Burrow go out there and smack Clemson, this is going to be dope. I mean, and it's going to be huge. By the way, did you know both bands play Tiger Rags? Both teams are Tigers. Both team stadiums are called Death Valley. There are a lot of commonalities in these two programs. That's why I'm just bringing this up, and I'm saying this. It just kind of makes. I'm just trying to add some fun. Sorry. Okay. Now, got to also say something that's really crazy. Did you hear about Brock Vandergraaf pulling his commit to Oklahoma? Do you think this has anything to do with the Cowboys getting rid of Jason Garrett?
I don't know, man. I can't go in his head.
I know, I can't either,
know,
but I would say it is kind of weird.
Regardless, I think Oklahoma will find a good coach, whether it's in-house, just like they did last time, or what have you. Oklahoma's too much of a national power at this point and been in the playoff too many times to where I don't think they'll have a free fall. You know what I mean? So I think, commits, if you're committed, go ahead and do what you're going to do. Commit to that school, right? But when you're a 5-star recruit and you have the clout like that, you can sort of decide, what coach you want to play for more than anything. right?
Dude, he's a baller, by the way. He is a baller. By the way, he's now reopened himself
So
to
as far
Auburn,
as recruiting
Clemson,
goes, and
Florida, Georgia, and by the way, guess who's now at the top of his list? This is going to make some people really happy, and this was my segue. Tennessee.
Oh.
Tennessee, who pulled the craziest,
Gator Bowl.
luckiest comeback in the Gator Bowl. What the bleep was that? The most boring first half in football to the most exciting beginning of the first, third quarter and end of the fourth, but in between it was boring again. That was a weird game, wasn't it?
That was some all around. I just think it was some stinky ball getting played. First half, I mean, Peyton Ramsey and that Indiana offense was about the most embarrassing offense I've seen try to put a team on the field for a bowl game in a long time. But then the second half, they looked confident. And I thought there was no chance with 5 minutes left that Tennessee could pull that off. I'm just going to be real. I didn't expect it. I didn't see it coming.
It was awesome, by the way, and congratulations to Vol fans. I'm sure you're very happy about that. So everybody and all the Vols fans out there, that was pretty dope. But I also wanted to ask this, and I did kind of forget to finish this. Do you think that Vandergraff left more because of what he saw with Tennessee last night, more possibly because of the rumors of Lincoln Riley going to the Cowboys, or more because there's rumors of Tua going back to Alabama? And guess what? They say if Mac Jones is in the transfer portal, he's going straight to Oklahoma.
What do you think?
To tell you the truth,
I mean, you have this question.
I can't because you want to know. I was going to say the answer.
Get into Vandergraff's head. You know what I mean? So it's like I want to know. I want to know what you think.
I was going to tell you. You know what I think? Honestly, I think the reason he's doing this, it all has to do with one simple reason. I think everything in college football is so fluid that as a junior, he woke up and realized, I still have one more damn year. I don't know if Lincoln's going to be there. I don't know where Mac Jones is going to go. I don't know if Tua's entering the NFL draft. I don't know about all of this, but I know one thing. I'm one of 3 juniors in the top 300. Why would I be committed this early? Also, they have ranked me 24th player in the country, and they would project him as the 3rd rated player in the country next year and the number 1 quarterback.
And after the Jarrett Guarantano sort of experience last night, Tennessee's missing something.
Oh,
they sure are, man.
And I think that has a lot to do.
I wouldn't blame
question
him
basically because I think he woke up is what I was trying to say. And I was kind of trying to get that out of you because you're the former athlete who was recruited just as recently.
Yeah.
And I think he finally realized who he really was.
When you get to guys at that level with 4 or 5 star talent, they have their choice, man. Like there's no telling at that point. Like, will he go to Tennessee where you take a chance, or will he go to in Oklahoma or a LSU or somewhere where he knows that off top all the talent around him is going to propel him to win no matter what?
I think you're 100% right, but wouldn't you also if you're a sophomore, because he committed his sophomore after his sophomore year.
That's early.
And
man.
Lincoln
really
Riley
early.
walks up in your building and you have just finished, you're 16 years old. And Lincoln Riley comes walking in, and he just had a Heisman guy win the Heisman. I bet it would be hard at 16 years old to say no to him. At least to say, okay, I'm committing, dude. You know what I mean? So I kind of also understand that. And again, that's where I was getting it. I think the young man has matured and found out his power and how many people really want him.
Hey, but let's talk about last night's game, talking about the Gator Bowl, Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
So Eric Gray, man, Lausanne
congratulations,
guy. Look,
Memphis man.
He ended up being the MVP. Why? I want to know, if you're a Tennessee fan, why is he not on the field more? I understand Ty Chandler; he's a solid player. He really is, big-bodied guy. But Eric Gray finished 14 attempts, 86 yards, a TD, 2 catches, 34 yards, and not to mention, sort of a game. One of the biggest plays in the game is getting that onside kick.
That onside
just went 10 yards. Eric Gray was all over the field.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know what? It was another Memphis kid doing some awesome things for the Vols in the state of Tennessee. So congratulations to Gray and the Vols for getting that win. But in all honesty, I can't ask Pruitt why he's not on the field more. I don't know if it's discipline. I don't know if he's just not a practice guy. I really don't know why, because you're right. Last night, he sure as hell looked like he belonged. But again, this is also a guy that I've heard rumors around that has had just I hate even putting that out there. I don't want to do that, especially to a young man. Just, I don't know. I can
Let's
say
just
that
put it this way. He's a
Jeremy
freshman.
Pruitt-
He's a freshman,
Yeah.
whereas, you would give guys that have been there the chance a little quicker than you would a freshman. But, from what I saw last night, his ability to run the ball.
Do you not think he goes in number one as the
Absolutely.
number one
He
depth
has to.
start next year?
He has to.
I think he has to, too. And also, that's another thing is we didn't even bring that up. One thing about college football, he had to earn, Pruitt's trust. You know what I'm saying? And that is something that is always hard, I think, for, any young freshman to do, is to earn that trust. And the one thing is he didn't lose any fumbles in 101 attempts. That is where I think that the coach that's where I think Pruitt was worried. Is you got a young guy, you don't want him, make sure you hold on to the ball, don't want him to get the, fumbles. But again, this dude had 101 carries, 0 fumbles lost, 4 touchdowns. He also had a 94-yard long. That was his long of the year. That is like right out there getting up. And by the way, just so you know, he led the team with 5.3 yards per attempt. Congratulations to a Memphian and my man, Mr. Gray, Eric Gray, out of Memphis, Tennessee. Now, Bill wants to talk Gator Bowl. Bill, what's happening?
What's up, man?
Hey,
if that
what's
cat
up?
would have committed,
Oh.
he would have committed last night. He could have played quarterback in the second half. Garantano was absolutely. It was embarrassing for him. I can't.
He had a rough game.
Offensive coach, put the punter in. I mean, I can't do this.
Put the punter in.
I mean, good Lord. I mean, their receivers were open everywhere. They were really 10 feet over. I mean, there was one miraculous catch, and I know they were bragging about Garantano leading them down the field. Yeah, the guy jumped like 17 feet in the air. The basketball team's recruiting him. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, it was just, it was amazing we won that game and how it happened. I mean, literally, it was like you're Rumpelstiltskin sound asleep, and all of a sudden, the last 5 minutes, you're like, snap out of it, like, drop the moonshine, say, touchdown.
Did they really just get the onside kick? Oh, my gosh, they did. Is this happening? 14 points, man, in the fourth quarter, in the very final minute. Man, it was straight up insane. No. I was dealing with the Dagon Cat. I got to watch the fourth quarter, though.
And he caught it behind him.
Say that again? What now?
He outran the ball on the outside kick.
Uh-huh.
He ran past ran like 11 yards and then reached back
and grabbed that
jump. And grabbed it as it was hitting the 10-yard line. That was I couldn't believe the thing I couldn't understand. Did it never occur to the Indiana sideline that maybe they might try an onside kick? I mean, they had like 4 people on the line, and I think they were actually.
Bill, I'll tell you what. All around coaching, I think the officiating, some of the play on the field. At times last night in that second half, it was just some bad ball. It really was.
I want y'all to think about this though too. Think about how fast those touchdowns were scored. And how weird it was. They scored with 2:45. Then the next one they scored in there was 30, in another 30 seconds. So they had 14 points in 30 seconds. And you remember how the third quarter started for Indiana? They scored 2 touchdowns in the first 3 minutes of the third quarter, and you're like, what in the bleep just happened?
Yeah, Garantano was hitting their defensive. Their defense.
Perfect pass to their defensive back for a touchdown.
They should have lined up and guarded our receivers. Had one receiver and one defensive guy guarding our receiver and act like he was on the other team, and then he probably would have got the pass. Because Garantano was throwing it to the other team better than he was to our guys. It made no sense. And then, y'all may talk.
Last 5 minutes, he did. Last 5 minutes, he was locked in though.
He was like freaking Joe Namath. I'm like, who is this guy? And if I was still a team, I would sound like baseball. I coach baseball. When I had a kid hit a home run one time, he was 13 and under, he was huge. Hit a home run. As soon as the ball hit off his bat, the coach was running on the field saying, I want to see his birth certificate. That's what Coach Indiana should have done. I want to see under that helmet. That is not Garantano. That's somebody else. I want to see who it is because there's no way he's making those throws. It's unbelievable.
Bill, get to work. I know that the Bushes need you. That's my buddy Bill. Happy New Year. We got to pay a couple bills. Don't forget your CBD store, 3157 Poplar and also 680 North Germantown Parkway. It's your CBD store for a reason. CBD is the real deal. Holyfield, find out what it is and go get the book, ABCs of CBD, if you're confused. Or just go into 3157 Poplar or 680 North Germantown Germantown Parkway, your CBD store. Talk with them, figure it out, say goodbye to pharmaceuticals, and hello to CBD. We'll be right back. Sports 56, 96.1, and my favorite segment of the day. And I also get to not only talk about crazy stuff, I'm going to tell you how a time machine has been invented, Gabe. Are you nervous? On 87.7 FM.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Join in Underground at the Lounge at 3rd and Court for the best music Memphis has to offer. Brought to you by Sweetgrass, Sunrise, and 117 Prime. Upgrade your music experience with a true Memphis sound. Check out John Williams and the A440 Band playing classic Memphis Soul every Friday night. Every Sunday at 7 p.m., Joe Restivo presents Soul Jazz Trios featuring artists like Pat Fusco on organ or even the City Champs. This Saturday, January 4th, John Paul Keith is ringing in the new year. Show starts at 9. So kick back, enjoy dinner out at the diner, and then head downstairs to the lounge at 3rd and Court.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. See website for full details and important safety information.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive Little Blue Pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. You pay just $30 for a month's supply. And right now, get your first online doctor's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/joy. That's right, free, zero copay, no expensive appointments, no awkward face-to-face conversations to get your prescription. Hims connects you to doctors online who can evaluate you and, if appropriate, prescribe your ED medication. And a pharmacy sends it right to your door. Hims makes it affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/joy for your free online visit. forhims.com/joy.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, your one stop for all your natural, organic, and non-GMO CBD products, where good health hits home. Here's Johnny Radio himself, John Harden.
Shackles, ball and chain. Listen to the whistle of the evening train. You know you about to wind up dead. You don't head back to Tennessee yet. Rich man, step on my poor head.
OMG, rich man, step on my po head. Perfect segue, because we're about to do a little Hardwood, and I get to talk to you about Jose Canseco going off on this dude, and he literally got into it with this guy at, what is it called, Top Golf. Don't disrespect me, bro. He didn't care. He was so offended, and I love this one. He wrote, I didn't know if he was trying to pick me up or get an autograph, so we had an encounter. well, by the way, just so you know, the way you wrote that leaves open a whole lot of speculation. So did he pick you up, or did you get an autograph? Jose, you're hilarious. And at 55 years old, the fact that you can still be such an a-hole, it's absolutely amazing. But speaking of guys that we get to talk about all kinds of cool stuff, plus a time machine. What else did we have that's so great? We had a time machine. You just said it a minute ago.
Jason Garrett?
Oh, yeah. I get to make fun of Jason Garrett and Joe Moorhead.
I think with Jason Garrett, it's we can make fun of a lot of things, and I think Jerry Jones has to be, and his son have to be part of it. They have to be part of it.
I can't
Three
believe he had
meetings?
to let go.
3 meetings.
3 meetings to fire him because I couldn't fire him the first 2. And I just was hoping he was going to quit on me, and he wouldn't. And I don't know what to do. But anyway, we're going to get into all this stuff and more, but I want to remind you, it's very important that if you're not feeling right, if you're a little bit blue, if you have anxiety, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, anything like this, if you have aches and pains, if your shoulders or back or neck hurts, if you can't sleep, if your pet's freaking out because of fireworks and storms, go to your CBD store at 680 North Germantown Parkway and 3157 Poplar Avenue. Bing, bang, boom. Remember who sent you? It's your boy Johnny. Let's go to Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
Do you remember, just sidebar, do y'all remember that unbelievable athlete, Trayvon Boykin, who was one of the best
TCU running that
superstar?
Thing,
do y'all remember he got in trouble right before the NFL draft and everybody came out to say how great of a person this guy was and he's going to be a great leader of men and a great quarterback in the NFL? Do you realize what has happened to this man since basically he didn't get to play in his last game in college, right? Because he screwed up so bad at TCU. This dude hadn't played and done anything. Have you heard what he just did? I'm going to tell you.
I remember there was a domestic violence thing with him, but then past that, I do not know. Most recent deal.
Well, he allegedly, because he's still in court, broke his girlfriend's jaw in the altercation in March of 2018. No, she just broke her jaw magically because I know when you're talking sometimes and arguing, your just jaw can snap. Then he, in November, cops said he failed. He had an electronic monitoring device or whatever. He failed to check in, and then he cut that joker off like an idiot. We know about, what happened in 2015 when he was a second-team All-American and had all those investigators checking that. I don't even want to get into that crazy case. But anyway, basically, this dude who had huge potential, okay? Huge potential. His NFL career it's over. He is now facing, believe it or not, guess what? He is facing 10 years in prison. You know why? Because he just got arrested again. Do you know what he got arrested for this time? On probation, by the way. Awaiting trial, which the girlfriend is trying to get him out, but the prosecutors don't want to drop it because he broke her jaw, okay? Well, guess what he does? He goes and gets arrested, and now because this is that whole 3 strikes you're out type thingy or something, he's locked up because of a memorabilia scam.
What did that entail?
It basically just says that he went and got a bunch of products from the NFL, or he bought products that he, quote, said they were licensed NFL, and then just started forging all these people's signatures on them and going around and selling them and getting tons and tons of money.
So basically a form of fraud.
It is, it's basically fraud. If you say, this is so-and-so's, this is Russell Wilson's helmet from when he played in this game, I'll sell it to you for $20,000. Yeah, that's fraud, bro. So basically what I'm saying is, my man, if you remember him, he's going to go to jail for a decade, yo. And the potential that he used to have. Now, guess what? Last but not least, I am going to mention this. And then I'm getting into the funny. But it's about damn time, and if they don't do it this year, you're going to hear me absolutely lose it. Isaac Bruce, Hall of Fame finalist again. Again, I've said this. The numbers, just look at them. Remember his career.
One of the all-time leading reception getters. One of the all-time leading receiving yards guy. I mean, and not to mention a Super Bowl. This is what, the 7th year he's been a finalist. Let's get him in.
Dude, he has to get in this
You
year.
gotta understand. And here's where I'm from. I'm from St. Louis. I'm a St. Louis man. Him and Torrey Holt, they're both finalists this year.
Yep.
I love Torrey Holt. He should get in eventually. But Isaac has waited way too long.
Do you want the whole list real quick? Everybody, I'm going to give it to you. It's very
Rock and roll.
fast. Troy Polamalu, Edgerrin James, Zach Thomas, John Lynch, Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, Leroy Butler, Steve Atwater, Richard Seymour, Bryant Young, Alan Faneca, Tony Baselli, Steve Hutchison, and Sam Mills. Look, Steve Hutchison, Tony Baselli, Alan Faneca, damn, they all getting in. My man, right off the bat, Troy Polamalu's got to get in. Edgerrin James is getting in, and you got to get my man Isaac in too. Dude, this is a tough list, yo. Man, it's hard to get in, but I just want to remind y'all all this. Bruce had a 16-year career, people, in the NFL. He had 1,024 receptions. Do you know that's 13th all-time in the NFL? He has the 13th most receptions in the NFL. His receiving yard, this is where it gets me so bad. I'll tell you all that in a minute, but first, he's 13th in receptions. He's 12th all-time in touchdowns with 91. That's right, 12th all-time. But do you know what he's 5th in? He's 5th all-time in yards with 15,208. You're going to say he's 5th in yards, he's 12th in touchdowns, and he's 13th in receptions? Yet he played 16 years again, and yet he's not in the Hall of Fame. He's got a Super Bowl ring.
This year's the year.
Get
it has
him
to
in.
happen.
Get him in, or I'm gonna go banana sandwiches. If you can't tell, you could tell, couldn't you?
Yeah, I can tell.
I'm not gonna handle it. And then the last but not least, this is comical. Taco Fall is crushing the NBA All-Star vote. What the hell is going on?
And Alex Caruso. You didn't even mention Alex Caruso.
Who is Alex Caruso?
He's a backup guard for the Lakers. He averages
He's
5
actually been
points
playing
a game.
pretty good. Yeah, he's been
Yeah,
playing.
but they call it. What do they call it? It's like the.
Yeah, I know.
White
You're talking about
something.
Yeah, like
he's like
but that's
balding and he's
why.
like 23.
But he's LA.
But look,
Yeah.
man. Like
no, that's a joke.
This is
Taco Fall. And
It's
him,
cute. It's cute. It's
but
really
stupid.
cute. But this just shows you who votes, who the fan votes are. There's a lot of 14-year-old Lakers fans, Celtics fans, just chiming in to get the sort of goofy BS guys in there. And I'm not. Look,
I ain't down.
I think it's cute. It's cute, man. But no, let's just stop doing this because, at the end of the day, it's just making the NBA and especially the fan voting look like a mockery.
Sure is. And don't forget, I'm about to give you all the greatest feeling story. It'll be the last story I tell you about the couple who won the lottery after their teenage son beat cancer. I'm also going to tell you about the astrophysicist who says he knows how to build a time machine. Me and Gabe are about to get deep in this. And if we can go back or go future, like they say, actually, technically, he can go forward. I'll explain this in a minute, but I'll be there in just a minute. But before we get to that, last but not least, before I get to the fun stuff, I got one more bad story. Do y'all remember Domingo Germán? He was the best pitcher for the Yankees, man. And then you know what? Got accused of domestic violence. Did you hear what the MLB did yesterday when they came down on him?
63 games?
81.
Oh, 81?
81 games. He has 63 left.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
No. It's
okay.
an 81 game
I knew
suspension.
I wasn't getting 63.
I was going to say,
from nowhere.
The 18 games that he missed last year while they were investigating are going to be used. Now, the interesting part is he received money during that 18 games. So he'll be able to come back and play. He's going to miss 63 games next year, but he's not going to receive salary for 81 games next year, which is a lot of money. Okay? So yeah, don't hit women. How many times we got to tell y'all that? Damn. But anyway, now it's time to talk about the fun stuff. Are you ready for some good news?
Please,
man.
please. Yeah, that was a lot of bad in a row.
There was a lot. That's what I'm saying. Now I'm ready to
get.
Now this is. Let's get into the time machine. Are you ready for this? There's a guy. He's an astrophysicist. His name's Ron Mallett. He is a tenured University of Connecticut physicist. He's the head professor. He's like really, really smart. His passion, of course, is the theory of relativity. If you don't know what the theory of relativity is, Well, E equals MC squared on a very, very small basis. Think Albert Einstein and the universe. Now, in the theory of special relativity, by the way, Einstein says that time accelerates or decelerates depending on the speed at which an object is moving. So based on that theory, if a person was in a spaceship traveling near the speed of light, time would pass slower for them than here on Earth. So if you were in space and you went out and say you flew at the speed of light to a star, you hung out on that star for like 3 months, and then you flew at the speed of light back to Earth, you were gone 5 days. It'd be like 10 years. So you would technically basically be traveling into the future. See what I'm saying? Now, to travel into the past though, the dude says he thinks he can do it, but he'd have to make a machine that's powerful enough to shoot a laser stronger than the power of the sun. And I'm like, well, we ain't going backwards. We might go forward.
It's never happening.
But we ain't building something that's going to be like shooting a laser more powerful than the damn sun, homie. But thank you, Mr. Ron Mallett. That was a very nice story.
Does he think he can do it? Does he think he can do it?
He says right now he's spending the rest of his life, he is trying to build the machine that's going to go fast enough as the speed of light.
Good luck, my friend.
Because he says he wants to go into the future. Now, if he goes into the future and he comes back, what if there's nothing left, yo? How bad would that suck to like leave and come back and they're like, oh, damn, Earth.
He comes back
gone.
And he's like, he's coming back.
Damn.
No, he's probably coming back with like great news, guys. I did it. No one's here.
Yeah. Where'd you go? Oh, great.
That's unfortunate, man.
Now, last but not least, if you could travel back in time, what would you travel back to change? Anything?
You know what they say is like if you went back in time to change something, you would alter the present.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
Oh, I already know what I'd do. If I could go back in time, immediately, I would win the biggest lottery. I would go back exactly to the largest lottery. It was like, what, $1 billion?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'd win that sucker.
How? I mean, what would you?
I would know the number.
No, I mean not necessarily, because then you would have bought the ticket. You're altering the present.
Oh no!
No! You're altering the present if you go back and you buy that ticket that you didn't buy back then.
But I know the numbers that are going to be pulled.
No, you don't. They're random.
No, because I'm going back. I'm going right when
I'm telling you right now.
Well, I'm going to go back, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rob a bank, and I'm going to bet on a game that I know is going to win.
But then if you bet on that game, you could alter the present.
Well,
you're not getting what I'm saying here.
I do see what you're saying.
Yeah. See, it makes sense, though.
You and your butterfly effect. Now, I do have to say, I wanted to talk and end my story, like the day, on a really good story. There was a family. They had, honestly, I'm a dad. I could not imagine finding out that my children have cancer. Look, I already told y'all. I hadn't really told y'all. This year, I got it. I didn't tell anybody for like 3 months. Obviously, I'm okay. It's benign. Things are good. But if my kid had it, I would be a damn wreck. You know what I'm saying? So, my man, he's freaking out. He's, they're Mr. and Miss McDonald by their name. By name. This is not a joke. Their names are McDonald. Like, I guess if your name is McDonald, you're just going to be rich. Is that right? Like Ronald McDonald, they made billions of hamburgers. I don't know. He's not part of the McDonald's. But their 15-year-old son, he literally all year long has been being treated for cancer, and they said he only had a 5% chance of living. Okay? The day they say to him, Mr. John McDonald, Miss Allison McDonald, we have great news. Your son's treatment has worked. He's cancer-free. Like, you think that's the greatest day of your life, which it actually is. It is the greatest day of your life.
And you feel like the luckiest man on earth.
And you feel like the luckiest man on earth. And you are the luckiest man on earth. So they wanted to start, by the way, they were told on December 18th that they didn't have, they were told on December 15th that their son didn't have cancer. So on that day, Mr. John McDonald so excited, feel so lucky and so blessed, decided, you know what? I'm going to go and do something I never do. What the heck? We are so lucky. Maybe we'll win. He goes and buys a lottery ticket. 3 days later, they pull the lottery. He matches every single number. And guess what? Walks away after taxes $2 million richer. Man, I don't know about y'all, but that is like the dopest story ever. From literally the world ending to thinking that your son Ewan McDonald, who's 15 years old, who's been battling cancer all year long, and you have this horrible battle. Cancer sucks. And then somehow miraculously he beats it. And then three days later, y'all win the lottery. I'm just going to tell you right now, 2019 sucked, but 2020 for the McDonald's is going to be ballin'. And I want 2020 to be ballin' for all of y'all. So make sure you do what? Go to Central Barbecue. It's only simply the best barbecue in the world. 4 great locations. Downtown, Midtown. You got the original one. Oh, yeah, that's right. Central. Don't forget Summer in East Memphis. And, of course, the new one on Poplar. But I'm serious, a heart attack. Central Barbecue. It is simply the best. We'll be right back on Sports 56, 96.1, and, of course, 87.7 FM.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who owes back taxes, if you get nervous when the mail comes because you might get a letter from the IRS, then you've heard. Their enforcement agents are cracking down this year and can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts. Even your home or business could be at risk over unpaid taxes. It's all true, but it's also true there's a way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative, an important government program for tax debt assistance. The award-winning experts at Optima Tax Relief will fight to get you the best deal possible, protecting your paycheck and your assets from IRS collections. But don't delay, because the IRS is tacking on interest and hefty penalties every single day. So don't wait until it's too late. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-473-9933. 800-473-9933. 800-473-9933.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
For over 25 years, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 has been bringing you great local sports talk. With 13 hours of local talk daily, we continue to be Memphis's local sports leader. The day starts with Keith Parker and Elliot Wender on the Press Box from 6 to 7, followed by the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt from 7 to 10. Sports 56 Middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy takes you through lunch from 10 until 1, and then John Harden brings you Johnny Radio's Happy Hour from 1 to 3. Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy drive you home every afternoon with Sports Time with Wolo and Stats from 3 till 6. And John Rennie wraps up the day with Southern Sports Report from 6 to 7 before we turn things over to Fox Sports Radio to get you through the evening. We also bring you Ole Miss sports, NFL football, and the NCAA basketball tournament. Don't miss anything. Keep your radio locked in right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7. Now back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Let's go! This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, your one-stop for all your natural, organic, and non-GMO CBD products, where good health hits home. Here's Johnny Radio himself, John Harden.
Many a hand has scaled the grand old face of the plateau. Some belong to strangers and some to folks you know. Holy ghosts and talk show hosts are planted in the sand to beautify the foothills, shake the many hands. There's nothing on the top but a bucket and a mop and an illustrated book about birds. You see a lot up there, but don't be scared. Who needs Jackson when you got words?
Welcome back to a little Johnny Radio's Happy Hour, and I am your sports mixologist, John Harden. I'm going to tell you a whole lot of great things. Whenever you listen to me, you learn. And I'm going to teach you something right now. If you're an employee or if you're just a worker, Everybody works, right? Do your job. Just do your job. Don't worry about other people's. Just do your job. Please. And guess what? You're going to have a great 2020. Speaking of just doing your job, if you just do your job, and I'm talking to you, Tennessee, if you just go out there and you run the right system, if you don't get scared of the moment, if you don't look at the Patriots and see a 41 playoff starts by Tom Brady, this is his 42nd playoff game to Tannehill's first. If you don't look at it like that, if you don't look at Vrabel and Belichick, if you don't look at the mystique, and if you look at them for the simply of what they are in the football team, I'm telling you right now, yes, they got some big linebackers. I love Dante Hightower. I like Jamie Collins. I think Danny Shelton is a bang and run stuffer. But again, I think they have also a really good secondary in the McCourties. I think Chung. I think Gilmore. I think they're all great. But I also would like to remind you of Derrick Henry is going to run in Hightower. We are going to see some dope collisions in the hole. We are going to see some greatness. But I would like to remind you of, Jack Conklin, Taylor Lewan, Ben Jones. This is Nate Davis. These guys, they can block. They are dirty. They are mean. And there's a big dude, Derrick Henry, who is nasty. And I mean just flat out nasty and nobody. And would it be nice to have Delaney Walker? Hell yeah, it would be. But you know what? A.J. Brown and Tajay Sharp and Ryan Tannehill in play action has been so nasty. And then when I look at the Titans defense and I see Jeffrey Simmons and Jarrell Casey and I see Jaylen Brown and then I look at Kenny Vaccaro and Adoree Jackson, Kevin Bird, I'm just saying to myself, man, this is a defense that is opportunistic, that will light you up. They can play football too, and I don't think they're afraid to go to Foxborough. I don't think they're going to get caught up in the mystique. And the other thing is, I will take the defensive backs. I'll take Adoree and all of them against Julian Edelman, Mohamed Sanu, Philip Dorsett. By the way, remember who they drafted? Harry Neal. What's he done this year?
I'm sorry, man. You called him Harry Neal. It's in Keel Harry. Sorry, man.
Oh, yeah,
I hate to
right.
be that guy. That's a Harry Neal
I'm
though.
sorry.
It comes
Harry
off.
Neal
It comes
sounds
off better. Yeah.
What is it?
How's
How's it
easier to
spelled?
say?
It's in
Keel Harry.
K.
In Keel Harry.
Yeah, but what does he? Doesn't he like start?
In apostrophe Keal.
Good job.
In
so
Keel.
in is capitalized, right?
Yeah.
And the K is too.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that one. I like Harry. I like Harry
Neal better.
I like Harry Neal better. But Neil Harry, I don't know what happened to him. And again, I don't think Mohamed Sanu is going to scare Adoree Jackson or anybody for the Tennessee Titans. And I'm just telling you right now, the Saints look like the easiest football game of this weekend. And I believe that with all that's happened to the Saints, I would say, yeah, they're going to smoke Minnesota. But, man, I am scared of Minnesota's defense. I'm not scared of Kirk Cousins. But I'm also scared of, the history of the Saints. Just, let's not forget what happened the last time they played Minnesota. Was it in Minnesota? Yes. But do you remember the Minnesota Miracle? Diggs running down the sideline with that catch? Me going, what just happened? And do you remember last year when the Saints played? The no call that changed football and not for the better? That's real deal Holyfield stuff. So I think the Saints smoke. I think the Seahawks win. I think the Patriots fall to the Titans. And I think the Bills stop the Texans. Let's go Bills. But I always think one Bill is 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Any house, any area, as is. You need some money to bet on these games? I just gave you a bunch of winners. 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. $500 finder's fee. Plus, remember this. Any house, any area, as is. Simple as that. Bill at I Buy Houses. 901-406-1101. He's Memphis born. He's Memphis bred. He's my friend, and he's a Memphis man till he's dead. Hit him up at 901-406-1101. We're going to have a blessed weekend. Go Titans. I'll see y'all on the flip side. Gabe Kuhn, have a great weekend. Peace, everybody.
Put up the deuce, and if it's beef, put
the peace down, throw up the dukes. It's time to change our ways so we can save the day for the children's sake and make a better place to play. And if it's all good, break out your coupe and grip your wood. And if you're riding dirty, light your spliff and blow your. But do it real big, exactly like a player should. Enjoy your 24, do your thing and rep your hood. The world is all yours, but still we